Everyone thinks they already know this story. They've seen the documentaries, read the headlines, watched the clips circulate online until they blurred together into one long accusation cycle. For most people, the conversation around Sean Diddy Combs feels exhausted. But according to 50 Cent, the public hasn't even touched the most uncomfortable part yet. Not because it was disproven, not because it was too small, but because it was never shown at all. And the reason why may be more unsettling than the allegation itself. When 50 Cent appeared on a daytime talk show to discuss his recent docuseries, the mood wasn't dramatic. There was no heated confrontation, no viral shouting match, just a calm conversation about what made it into the final cut and what didn't. That's when he dropped a line that instantly shifted the room. He mentioned a claim involving a woman who once dated Tupac Shakur and an alleged child connected to Diddy that the public never knew existed. No name, no photo, no confirmation, just enough detail to make people freeze and replay the moment. And just as quickly, 50 moved on. That alone raised a question fans couldn't ignore. Why bring it up at all? According to 50, the answer was simple but revealing. The docuseries was limited. 4 episodes, finite runtime, endless material. His team had to make decisions about what could be responsibly presented and what would require far more time, context, and legal preparation. And some stories, he suggested, weren't just allegations, they were entire threads that could unravel everything around them. So they were left out. But omission doesn't erase curiosity. In many cases, it amplifies it, because when something is intentionally excluded, people don't ask whether it's true first. They ask why they weren't allowed to hear it. And that's where this story shifts. The alleged claim itself has been carefully framed by everyone discussing it, including 50 Cent, as unverified. There has been no confirmation, no public acknowledgement, and no documentation presented to support it. What exists instead is speculation, rumors that have circulated quietly for years, now resurfacing at a moment when scrutiny around Diddy has reached a new peak. Fans online began connecting dots, not facts, dots. They pointed to patterns in who Diddy allegedly dated. They referenced past industry whispers. They focused on the emotional weight of Tupac's name re-entering the conversation decades later. And whether intentional or not, that association carries gravity. Because Tupac's story was never resolved cleanly. It ended abruptly, violently, and with unanswered questions that still haunt hip-hop culture today. Any narrative tied to him immediately feels unfinished. But this wasn't the only reason the claims stored attention. The timing mattered. At the moment 50 spoke, Diddy was already under intense pressure. Multiple accusations had surfaced across different platforms, some tied to behavior, others to alleged actions behind closed doors, all of them denied by his legal team. Still, the sheer volume changed the atmosphere. When accusations pile up, even unproven ones, people stop asking, "Is this real?" and start asking, "How much of this did we never see?" And that's the environment where even a quiet comment becomes explosive. According to 50, there was far more footage than what aired: interviews, conversations, allegations that required careful handling. He suggested that some material might eventually be released outside traditional platforms. YouTube was mentioned casually, not as a promise, but as a possibility. And that suggestion alone sent speculation into overdrive, because unlike streaming platforms, online releases don't follow the same editorial restrictions. There's no episode limit, no corporate legal filters at the same scale, just the content and the audience. But that also comes with risk. And risk is where this story becomes less about allegations and more about power. Diddy's legal team responded forcefully to the documentary itself. They denied every claim presented. They labeled the project a coordinated hit piece. Reports indicate cease and desist letters were sent before the series aired, demanding it not be released. The platform moved forward anyway. That decision didn't quiet the situation, it escalated it. And soon after, another rumor surfaced. Online chatter began suggesting that a massive lawsuit could be brewing. Numbers floated around that sounded unreal. billion-dollar figures, claims of reputational damage, allegations of defamation.
To be clear, this lawsuit has not been confirmed. Media figures, including Angela Yee, have addressed the rumors carefully, emphasizing that much of what's being discussed remains speculation. But speculation thrives in silence, and as long as there's no definitive statement shutting it down, people continue filling the gaps. This is where this story shifts less about a single claim and more about a pattern. For decades, hip-hop has struggled with the tension between public success and private secrets. The industry rewards silence, protects influence, moves forward even when questions linger. And when someone like 50 Cent, known for holding grudges and speaking bluntly, chooses to hint instead of expose, it sends a message. Not that everything is true, but that everything isn't being said. The Tupac connection adds another layer. His legacy isn't just musical, it's emotional. For many fans, Tupac represents truth cut short, a voice silenced before it could fully speak. Any suggestion that his past relationships intercepted with unresolved present-day power structures feels deeply uncomfortable, and discomfort fuels engagement. Not because people want scandal, but because they want closure, something Tupac's story never offered. Still, it's important to slow down here. Nothing about the alleged child has been proven. No documents, no witnesses, no acknowledgement, just a claim referenced and deliberately not explored further. That distinction matters, because history is full of moments where rumors destroyed reputations without evidence, and it's equally full of moments where rumors were ignored until they weren't. The line between those two outcomes is clarity, and right now, clarity is missing. So why does this story refuse to fade? Because it sits at the intersection of three powerful forces: legacy, secrecy, and timing. Diddy represents influence at the highest level of the industry, Tupac represents unfinished truth, and 50 Cent represents a wild card, someone with enough distance to speak but enough proximity to know what not to say outright. That combination keeps people watching, waiting, listening. What happens next is uncertain. Maybe no additional footage ever surfaces. Maybe the rumored lawsuit never materializes. Maybe this claim remains exactly what it is now, an unverified whisper that fades with the next headline. Or maybe it doesn't, because once something is acknowledged, even briefly, it becomes part of the record, and records have a way of resurfacing when the timing is right. For now, all that exists are allegations, rumors, and unanswered questions. No conclusions, no verdicts, no confirmations. Just a reminder that sometimes the most revealing part of a story isn't what's shown, but what's deliberately left out. And if the footage that didn't make the cut ever does surface, the conversation won't just restart, it will change entirely.